Hi guys, I've got Candice with me today. Candice is a freelancer in the film and TV industry. She's also got her own online store selling some cool little things which we will get into in a bit. So hi Candy, how are you doing?
Hi, Lord. I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for your
Awesome.
time. Mm.
No problem at all. So you've got a little company that you started called the Gift Bucket. I don't want to give too much away about what the Gift Bucket does. So maybe if you can run me through what the Gift Bucket actually does or what it offers.
Okay, cool. So the Gift Bucket is an online gift and novelty shop. What I try to do there is curate little gifts that can fit into a bucket, a 1 liter bucket, and sell them. So it's for different ages, for different people. So there's one for moms, there's one for dads, there's one for kids, there's one for girls, specifically 6 to 12, and then there's one for older girls, teens, kind of a thing. I struggle with boys. I don't have boys myself. I have a daughter. So finding something that a girl will like, I'm like, got that. But for boys and teen boys and dads, I'm like, I don't quite know. Let me just ask the people in my life what I should put in there. But what I found is that the kids' things sell better anyway than for adults. But yeah, I put little things in buckets. I try to make it products that are aimed at unplugging. So getting away from our devices, our laptops, and interacting with people around us, or spending quality time with ourselves. So there's a lot of pamper products, pamper buckets that I try to do because I do think spending time being quiet with yourself is very good. It's healthy. So yeah, I try and encourage that with what I do. It's my company. I can do it.
Awesome. Yeah, I know getting
Yeah.
that Zen time with yourself is really important,
Yeah.
especially in our current situation with COVID and lockdown. Maybe some people spend too much time with themselves now, but your buckets will make it more, better spending that time.
Yeah, like it's more entertaining now than before.
Definitely with the buckets.
Yeah.
So, your the gift bucket. How or rather, why did you start doing the gift bucket?
So the idea for a company, not even a company, just something to sell. So because I needed extra cash, I wanted to fly over to PE to my parents for Christmas last year, and I figured I'm gonna need to get cash for these tickets somewhere because competitive salary means that your bills are competing with your salary. So there wasn't space for like extra money for flight tickets. Um, and I figured like maybe a lucky packet. There was a whole thought process into it. I walked around shops without buying anything. It was terrible. Um, but just to get ideas for what I could do, I didn't think that I'd be a very good sales rep for somebody else. I can sell myself. So from a lucky packet, it kind of developed into a bucket with lucky packet things in it. And that's how it started.
Oh, awesome. You run this online. If you can maybe, for people who would like to start something like that, whether it be, novelty type things or just any type of online store, what is it that you use to run that store?
Okay, so WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. I only got onto Instagram recently, to my own detriment. I think I should have gotten into it a while ago. But because everybody's connected to their phones and my products are getting them away from their phones, I don't quite see I see the irony there. But what that I've used platforms like that in order to market the product. So really cool pictures and fun little anecdotes to go with it that I post everywhere for WhatsApp status, Facebook. On my own Facebook, started a Facebook page for it as well, not a Facebook group. I found that a Facebook page worked better because then there's not like other people advertising their things on my group.
Mm-hmm.
No, but um, territorial about that. But a Facebook page was really good because then that gave me the option to open a Facebook shop. And when I did some research into that, a Facebook shop had to be linked to a website. And that's how I got in touch again with Lawrence, because Lawrence Lab 27 developed and hosts my website, which then links to Facebook, and then it all works together like that. So I've used a lot of online platforms. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, people are people. You put things out there, and then whatever comes back is hopefully money. But whatever the case is, the online platforms have worked very, very well for me.
Okay, awesome. So, listening to you saying that you actually have a website. So, along with the website, I know usually if you have like a brick and mortar business, you'd have to keep books and probably lots of books and Excel sheets maybe to keep track of stock orders and that type of thing. Is there anything specific that you use for that?
Besides my notebookie, the what the website does really well is it does collate what orders have been made, and that's really why I wanted a website. Actually, is for the administrative role that it performs in the background, because me and my bookie is not reliable. The website with the payment gate and just the function of ordering and buying online, it collates everything. I know who ordered, I know how much they ordered, I know when they ordered, I get notified when somebody orders something. And also my stock count is on the website. So I know if I've only got two 6-year-old of bucket things of in the little ladies, and I've got 9 in the 3-year-old ones. I know that's it. So somebody can't order 15 of something because I actually don't physically have the stock, and the website keeps that. I must keep the website up to date, and the website keeps it updated then for me. So
Uh-huh.
that's very useful in terms of admin. And also, I can see trends, when people did the most shopping, when people have clicked onto the website from Facebook or from wherever. So those kind of, what do they call it? Analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Weet jy die woorde
Correct.
nie? But that kind of information is really helpful and it's important. And the website does that for me. So
Oh, awesome.
it's really useful in terms of that.
Listening to you talk about the website, and you said that the website allows you to do payments as well. So, if you can maybe explain to us, not the actual process, but how you went about choosing that payment provider, and obviously how it integrates into the website or what it does for the end user as well. Like, do I have to have a credit card? Must I do a EFT and upload the payment, proof of payment, or that type of thing?
The website uses 3 payment options. There is the option to EFT, the option to pay via a pay gate called Ozo, and then the third option is to pay by cash. I don't like the cash option because then it goes into my pocket. It doesn't go onto the separate account that I have for the gift bucket. The pay at first initially I only had pay via Ozo, and I chose Ozo because it was the cheapest out of all the Paygate options. Out of what's the other ones? I don't know. Out of all of them, Ozo was the cheapest, because it was a per transaction fee instead of a monthly fee. At the time of setting up the website, I didn't know how busy the website was going to be, and how many people are going to use it, and how many people are going to pay via that payment option. So I used Ozo because then I knew it's only per transaction, and I'm not going to like get in 85 Rand for the month and then have to pay 65 Rand for a payment gate. So Ozo worked out the most affordable. I do find though that with Ozo, because it brings up all your accounts, people scrick and think that, oh my god, I've been hacked. Um, I generally, maybe it's be the age group that I'm in. I trust payment options maybe too naively. Um, but just from doing online shopping myself, I'm more comfortable, and other people are not as comfortable paying for things online. So the EFT option people have been actually using more, which is fine for me because then I get all the money in my account. I don't have to pay that certain percentage on
Yeah.
transactions. So it's been fine either way. But
Okay.
EFT is cool. They send me a just a proof of payment via WhatsApp. That's also fine.
Okay.
And but Ozo has worked. It's not that it hasn't worked. It's just I think online payments are scary for people still.
Okay. I was going to ask also with the EFTs, does that include maybe another step in your process? So does it add on a bit more work?
It adds on a step for the end user, for the client, because if they pay online, everything's done smoothly for them through the website. They can place their order online if they choose the EFT option. It just means that they have to go check the emails, get the order number, use that as reference for their
Okay.
payment, which most people
Hmm.
don't do anyway. Which is the frustrating part. Like it's your mommy that paid this. Anyway, but it's easy enough for me to figure out who paid what when because it's a few orders. But but it's an extra step for the client, but then the option is there for them to do that if they don't trust online payments.
Seeing that you have an online store, you obviously need to get the product to the client. Um, so how do you go about doing that? You know, do you have a scooter that you drive around, or how do you go about getting the product to the client?
My delivery process, once an order's been placed, um, the options on the website are for pickup, which is free. You can pick up from my place in Wynberg, or the delivery options if you're outside of Cape Town is I use the Pudo delivery service. It's not really delivery service, it's locker to locker, which again is for COVID, really, because then there's not another person coming to your door
Mhm.
and giving you something where you have to be masked up for it. And Pudo, it's a lot safer. My stuff goes from a locker to another locker, and you pick it up when you can. So you don't have to be at home at a certain time or anything like that. The other person has 24 hours, I think, to collect from the locker, so they do need to go get it. Um, but hopefully, people are excited to go pick up from the locker because it's a gift bucket. So there are those options. If it's in Cape Town, what I've done is there is a guy I know who does deliveries on his motorbike, and he charges um 2 Rand 80 or 3 Rand 20, some like odd number like that per kilometer. And he's a
Okay.
motorbike guy. So buckets fit in his little thing on the back of his bike, and he drives it around and drops off for me, which works out really well. It's cheaper than a locker within Cape Town, but it also then
Mhm.
depends where the person is because Cape Town is big.
Yeah.
And people live everywhere. So sometimes I do have to poodle within Cape Town simply because it's gonna be cheaper than me driving all the way over there and having the time to do that, or getting the motorbike guy to do it for me, and he's still gonna charge me a lot. So yeah, I just had to find the cheapest way to do it. Ironically now, another couple in my church has started a courier service and they live quite close by to me. So I'm also
Awesome.
in discussions with them of like what kind of agreement can we come to for deliveries, but they also operate within Cape Town only.
Should have probably asked you this a bit earlier, but in terms of the actual products that you sell, so the gift buckets, listening to what you were saying, or what goes in the gift buckets, do you have like any maybe special requests? Like, do you do things for maybe companies where they'll ask you to maybe have specific things in the buckets?
Yes, so I do corporate gifting as well as custom gifting.
Awesome.
I got a really interesting one this morning from a lady in Port Elizabeth that I'm excited to get started on. This will be posted before she gets it, so I don't want to give too much away.
Awesome.
But corporate gifting, I've done quite a I've started in that industry. It is an interesting one because obviously corporate gifting has to be very professional. Everything has to be the same. There's no space for like this one's pink, that one's red, this one's yellow, which is a lot of what I naturally do. I like colors. So and people want things branded. So I've learned a lot about how to get things branded, how to get a logo onto a thing. Has been an interesting process. And but what that does is it opens the gift bucket up to other vendors. So, and I like to choose people that are like me, women of color who are doing something in their house, in their home, employing somebody like that. So I've gotten into the space of corporate gifting. I've done golf hampers for people at a golf day. There
Awesome.
was a networking event where I did a coffee hamper, it was for the Chamber of Business, where
Okay.
they gave away prizes at the end of the evening. There's a Women's Day thing that's coming up that I'll be working on for them as well. And that's been very interesting. I did Father's Day gifts for our church as well. And again,
Awesome.
it's something simple and small, but it's
Mm-hmm.
got your company's logo on it, and it's a personal message from your company to somebody. And what that does for your company is
Mm.
amazing because people think, oh my word, I was thought about, this is like, it's for me, it was
Yeah.
made specifically for me. So those
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things have have kept the gift bucket turning over month to month. But there's a lot of hard work in gaining trust in that arena
Mm.
because if you like net florist, the bigger companies, they can dish out 1,000 pieces of key rings with somebody's logo on it, no
Yeah.
stress. I still need to gain that trust as a newcomer in the gifting
Yeah.
industry, that I am able to supply, I'm able to bankroll it until you pay me. I'm able to deliver, which is the most important part in the whole process, that I'm able to deliver a consistent gift that is going to be clean, that's going to represent your company to the end user. So, yeah, it's been hard work trying to get that going, but fun also. I mean, the one company which was really sweet, I thought, for Valentine's Day, did the Valentine's Day box that I had, which was sisters and like mugs that had fun little logos on it and cool cards you could like start conversations with. So, like, you get
Awesome.
fun companies will be like, yeah, we'll get you
Uh-huh.
sisters. I'm like, cool, I'll do that.
That's awesome, man. So, looking at the corporate side, obviously that is more focused on a specific. We say this is what we want in there. So, but you've obviously got your own ones that you do. So, maybe if you can tell us a bit about the process that you go through in terms of getting that pen or I know one time you did hand sanitizer when the COVID thing was,
Yes.
extremely rife. Didn't die down
Yeah.
though. But yeah, so how do you go about deciding what you're going to put in the bucket?
Curating a bucket, I make it sound really fancy by using that word. But coming up with a bucket and what's going to go into it, I look at the constraints I have because that's the
Okay.
first thing. So with the sanitizer, how that developed was I had to be at a market over Christmas last year, and each vendor needed to have their own sanitizer on the table. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, but then if I'm gonna have sanitizer, then I have to pay so much money to have the sanitizer there. If I
Yeah.
make my own sanitizer, then I'm actually giving away free samples and people can buy it at the same time.
Mm.
The entrepreneur brain explodes. So I'd like search the internet for like how to make your own sanitizer because surely there has to be somewhere on the internet somebody's
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
made something that works. And I researched a couple of recipes, if you can call it that. Um, Found one that was the most affordable, that smelled the nicest, that I could like put my own little sprinklings of love onto. And then I came up with the sanitizer, which I really, really like and I still use myself. um, it's got an 85% alcohol. also an interesting journey buying alcohol in the time of COVID. Um, so Discam had a bunch of like really nice alcohol at some stage, rubbing alcohol. And then they quietly, when they realized people was buying it to make sanitizer, stopped that process. And I couldn't find my alcohol anywhere in Cape Town.
Oh wow.
So I had to do the online search again. And I found like this really big pharmaceutical company in Johannesburg. And I was
Oh
like,
wow.
ooh. But what helped me there was because I had the website.
Okay.
I had an email address that wasn't a
Um.
Gmail address, that was
Mm-hmm.
an at gift bucket address, and that helps. I mean, again, it opened the door for me that I wouldn't have to explain myself. Why am I buying 85% alcohol? Did I kill someone and now need to like clean the area? So that it helped. But yeah, so coming up, trying to curate a bucket and coming up with a bucket. I mean, the bucket needs to tell a story. It needs to be cohesive. It needs to make sense. Like, why am I putting these two products with these other two products into a bucket? Like, how does that help? So it's like, okay, if I see something, the one that I've just done now, which is the llama llama look good bucket, was because I found these little compact mirrors with llamas on them, which I thought was like super cute. It's like pink with like fun little llamas. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that's cool. Let me buy that salon keys and then I'll see what I do with it. And then like I was working in another shop and I saw towel wraps like for the shower. And I was like, oh my word. If I put that with that and I find like Q-Tex and I find these like pedicure things, like there's a whole little pamper
Okay.
spa day in a bucket, and that's how that one came like together. But a lot of the things are like, but I've got these forks that I've been sitting on for months. They're like, that's a really cool thing that can fit in a bucket, and I still need to figure out what else is gonna go with it. So one
Uh,
day
there will
you'll
be
see these
folks.
really cool forks. But it's like it's that's the creative process. It's
Okay.
seeing things of something. I think the one night I was just like lying in bed. I was like, there needs to be a bucket for guys. Everything I have is for kids and women. And I need to like open up the gift bucket to other people. So I'm still working on it. There's not a lot that can fit in a bucket that you know a guy wants. Like there's cool tech stuff, but then now I have to supply batteries also. Nah, fam, that's not me.
Well, most things they say, batteries sold separately, so you could roll with that.
But I get that, but the purpose of a
Yeah,
bucket is you open it and the experience
complete.
is in there.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
I know I'll get there. I'll get there. I'll figure it out.
No,
Ideas are
cool.
welcome. Suggestions welcome.
I think we'll put down an email address with like a suggestions at the gift bucket.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, okay, listening to your procurement process, it's obviously not that rigid. It's more of a very creative process, which sounds really fun actually. Um, and seeing about or seeing that the sales, you have to get them out from your store. Do you have anyone doing that for you, or is that just solo you on your own?
I am the gift bucket. So I am warehousing, I'm production, I am sales, I am marketing. I am the CEO of the gift bucket. But it's no, so at the moment I curate everything and I put it all together myself. Also because I have a very specific way of how I want it to look when it gets to the other person, because there is that like joy that I get from when someone like gets the bucket, they open it and they're like, wow, look what's inside there. I
Mm-hmm.
want it to look a certain way because I know if I
Okay.
open, so a lot of the times I like put the lid on and I open it and I look inside, I'm like, not yet. I need to like move things around and close it. And then like, yes, yes, it's got the magic. Um, I do stickers as well, so a lot of printed stationery for birthday parties and stuff. And 2 days ago, I was sitting in a Zoom meeting and it wasn't my turn to speak yet, and I was like on mute. I was cutting up like city stickers of something, labels that go on stuff.
Uh-huh.
So those are the time consuming, like really irritating. I need a guillotine, guys. Um, but like the little things that I do myself, which if I could, I'd rather outsource those little bits to
Okay.
a mother who's sitting at home who doesn't have a job but has kids, and like paying them however much percentage per sticker that they get cut out properly. I mean, it's an easy task, but at the moment, I don't have the capacity to do that financially. But that's the goal. That's where I'm headed. That's where I'm going to.
Okay. If anyone wants to do what you're doing and start their own online store, what do you have any tips or advice for that people or person?
Do the research if you're going to start an online store, to first see if it's worthwhile. An online store, I was actually just I was chatting to a friend of mine the other day who's gonna get stuff from China and just wants to sell it quickly, and she wants to know about the website. And my recommendation to her was don't get an online store because you're gonna pay for something that you won't use in the long term. Having an online store, like I said, legitimizes your business, but you are paying for it. So you're not paying the thousands in rent that you would at a physical building, but you are paying something for it. So if you want to start a business and sell services or products online, make sure it's something that you want to do for a long time so that you get your money's worth out of the online store. And then if you are going the online store route, spell check. Make sure there's not bad grammar or bad spelling in your things, because all that legitimacy that you think you're building up, you will destroy in 2 sentences for anyone. You have to keep it updated. I checked my website today and the last post was from May. And what I want to do is they just like update the post to show that it's in July so that somebody who visits the website doesn't think this is an unmanned shop, for a lack of phrasing it better. You need to have the time to update it. You need to have the time to check the spam and the updates for the plugins that you have on the website. And you have to have a very good host um, and support for the online store if you don't know what you're doing online with technical stuff. You have to have somebody that can help you and guide you through that and give you good advice and not the easiest, most expensive advice for them. So a trust relationship is very important. But I mean, that goes to say for anything that you're doing. If you're going to start an online store, make sure that you've done your research on every part of it and think of the end user. So, how easy it is for somebody to get into your shop and from there find what they're looking for, and also see other things that you have there that you could fool them into buying. And then closing the sale, making sure that once their cart is full, that they press the pay option, that the money gets into your account. It's a long, difficult marketing process. You have to keep pushing it all the time because you will still make sales on WhatsApp. You will still make sales on Facebook. You will still make sales via word of mouth. But you have to keep that online store alive and active so that it looks as recent and as up to date as possible, because that builds trust. And you want trust. If you want to get into corporates, if you want to get into big business, you have to make your online store look trustworthy and reliable, because I'm sure you are trustworthy and reliable as a person, but your online presence needs to back that up.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. I just want to find out a few more things about you personally. So, uh, I know you read a lot, which is something that I always wish that I did more of. Um, but is there anything, if it is the reading or if it is anything else, is there how can I phrase this? So you see these bigger CEOs of companies doing things like maybe leaving their phone off for the first 2 hours in the morning, or reading a book a week, that type of thing. Is there any sort of things that you do routinely like that?
Okay, well, there is something that I do which goes against every entrepreneurial bug in the body that should be. I do, I have no email notifications on my phone.
Okay.
Because yes, I am an entrepreneur and I want to sell 24/7, but I have a daughter, I have dogs, I have life. So I don't always want to be getting notified that
Okay.
somebody's got an inquiry or somebody's got a question or had made a sale or something like that. Because what that does to my brain is like, okay, now I need to sort this out, and I'm like on there and I'm answering. And yes, it's great to
Hmm.
be available to clients all the time, but
Yeah.
you need to respect your own time as well and respect the time of the people that are with you. So I switch off email
Okay.
notifications. I'm very good at turning my phone upside down and not looking at it. And I make
Okay.
sure that during business hours between 8 o'clock and 5 o'clock, sometimes 6 o'clock, um, my laptop's open. I see emails when it comes through. I respond as quickly as possible. But after that, it's off because I have business hours. I'm the business, and I have business hours for myself. Just for sanity, so that people also don't get dick of you when you're sitting. When one day we can sit with people, and I'm not constantly on the phone, because you create habits for
Uh-huh.
yourself. So switching off email notifications was a big step, but I think it worked because now I'm I'm strict about it. Like I will check my email when I have the chance to check my email. Yes, I'm available on WhatsApp, and sometimes I look at it and be like, I don't have to answer now. It's 8 o'clock at
Yeah.
night. Don't
Yeah.
respond. Like give yourself that time as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, thanks. And seeing that this is gonna go up in the month of August, which in South Africa is Women's Month, do you have any shout outs or anything to say for the rest of the women, or specifically entrepreneurs who are women in South Africa?
I'm gonna ask all the women who've gone before me to continue opening doors for me. That's really selfish, but I love it. There are women in business who have pioneered, who've like forged paths in the tech industry, in gifting, in like sewing, in every industry that there is. And I love those women for it because it makes my job so much easier. And I acknowledge and I admire and I thank them for doing that. I hope that I, even in my small capacity, now it will be bigger in the future, but
Definitely.
that I'm able to open up doors for other smaller businesses, other one man corporations, one person
Hmm.
corporations, to be fair. um, so that we're continuously opening the door for somebody else to come through
Yeah.
behind us, because it's selfish of us to think that we're just doing everything for ourselves. We are
Yeah.
creating images for women when we are women in business. We are creating images for women of color when we are in business. So I'm only as good as my last job. And I'm only as like my people are only as good as my last job. You're creating trust, you're building um, good relationships with other businesses for everybody else, not just for ourselves. This country needs it so desperately. I mean, everybody needs to do something now. We all need a side hustle. We can't depend on our very competitive salaries. Um, so yeah, no, keep opening doors that I will walk through, and I will leave the door open for somebody coming up behind me too.
Awesome. Paying it forward or paying it backwards.
Just playing both sides, cover your bases. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for that, Candy. So, you also have been in the film industry for quite some time. I believe you actually did some studies in the that area. So if anyone does want to get involved in film, I know the big thing. I know I used to live in Cape Town for a bit, and I was also looking at the guys who doing getting involved in ads and that type of thing. How would you suggest or advise someone to get into that space?
That's a question I get often, eh? Like, you can't just call me a job there. Bruh. Yes, I don't know. How good are you at cutting out stickers? um, but I did study film and television production techniques at City Varsity. I have a diploma in that. I got a job straight out of college, which is unheard of. Maar net die genade van God het dit deurgebring vir my. Um, so I've been in the industry for, goodness, just maybe 15 years. Um, but like with every industry in any space, you need to start at the bottom. So even if you have a diploma, you have a degree, you have whatever you have, you're gonna need to make coffee for people. You're gonna need to run around, driving around, buying chips and sweets and water and dropping off children. And you have to start at the bottom. So anybody who has
Okay.
great ideas about being a hotshot producer, or like cool writer or director or whatever it is, you want to be an actor, good for you. Don't stop dreaming. Honestly, don't stop dreaming, but be real about and be humble, um, about your start, because you're going to have to keep pushing yourself. It is a tough industry, and you are only as good as your last job. That is for sure. Um, doesn't matter what you did at college, if you were able to go to college, but you need to do that job really well. One of the first producers gave me this advice, and I still use it. She reminded me of it the other day. Um, Doing work brings in more work. And I use it on the gift
Mm,
bucket as well. If you do a good job once for someone, that person is going to talk
mm,
about you to somebody else when they are looking for
yeah.
someone. As a freelancer, you are your own business in the film and TV industry. So if you want to cable bash, if you want to edit, if you want to direct, you are your business. You need to market yourself. You need to push. I remember there was, I think, the space of a year when I was doing production, where I would send these pompous emails about myself, which is like going against everything in me. But like the subject line would be, "This is your next production coordinator." And then like
Oh.
have my CV there and list all the jobs I did and how well I work under pressure and all the things I
Mm,
can do for you. You have to sell yourself. And I got quite a few callbacks from it. Got a job because of that. But also because the girl had the same surname as me. So
yeah.
but she wouldn't have known about me if I didn't research companies, if I didn't send out that email,
Mm,
if I didn't
mm,
continue pushing, pushing, pushing. You have to continuously push. Work
yeah.
is not gonna fall in your lap. You
Yeah.
have to keep pushing, and it gets tiring. It's demotivating. People don't respond. I went for one interview and I was a little offended, because it was quite recent, and I'd worked for the company maybe 5, 6 years ago, um, and I was in a different role then. But since in the space of 5 to 6 years, I think I went from like a junior person in that industry to at least a mid to senior. I mean, 5 years of doing the same thing every day
Yeah.
get you some credit. And I was sitting there and they wanted me to do the same job I'd done 5, 6 years earlier. And I was like,
Oh, hectic.
I can say no to this because I'm at the point now where I was like, bruh, thanks for the memories. And I explained to them, like, I've been writing every day for the past 5 years. I'm not going to step into a coordinator position because I think I have too much experience for what you want. And just having the confidence to say that also because I have been working hard, I've been grinding, I've been
Mm,
applying, doing. It gets tiring. But you need to keep pushing because you see the end result when you see your name go up in the credits. When, I mean, it takes a little thing like that to go like, yay, I can still do it, you know? There is that reward months later after doing the job, sometimes years later after doing the job. where you do feel, okay, I did a good job there. That project got rewarded because I bought yogurt for the director that one day and when he really needed it and he could do a good job. So if you want to get into the industry, just humble yourself. Know that you're going to have to start at the bottom. This is
Mm-hmm.
one, okay, specifically for actors though, because everybody's an actor most. Um, if you want to act in my movie, I'm gonna say no because I don't have a movie for you to act in right now. Um,
Ah,
but
that was not sad.
Buzz, bro. Um, but you're gonna need to work as hard as other people. You need an agent when you're an actor. Um, I think people who don't have agents are actors who have been in the industry, who've had headline titles in productions for years. They didn't arrive the other day. It's people who theater people. Actors, you need to open yourself up to doing more than just acting because acting, unless you are a soapy actor who has a job every day, who has a year contract with a company, you are not going to be able to feed your family. And dreams are cool, dreams are great, but dreams don't pay the bills. So you need to open yourself up to doing more than just acting. You need to either produce your own content that you can act in, and on producing your content means you need to research and learn how to write something and something good because you don't also act in something that's subpar because then nobody's going to be interested in it. So actors, get yourself an agent. um, then do get yourself into the industry, be a production assistant at a company so that you can make contacts, network yourself. You are your own business, you need to do your own marketing.
Uh-huh. So looking at your journey actually is starting with being a production assistant and making coffees and buying yogurts and that type of thing. You're obviously not in that space
No.
anymore now. So you write for TV now, if
Yes.
I'm correct.
Yes.
So maybe if you can, if anyone does want to do what you do, and write for some really well known, I won't mention what, just in case you have that weirdo who's coming at you. Why did you kill this character off? You know.
Yes,
So.
yes,
So if someone wants to write for TV, how would they get that process going, or is there any studies they have to do or anything like that?
um, it's a lot easier now than it was before when I started out. I think maybe old people just say that. But honestly, from my vantage point at the moment, I can say that it's a lot easier now for younger, out of college kids to get into specifically the writing industry. What you need to do is if you want to be a writer, you have to do it really well. And a good writer reads. You need to read other scripts. You need to read, and there's so many scripts online that people can get. So if you don't have the opportunity to go to a college to study writing for TV or film specifically, there are scripts online. There are resources online. The National Film and Video Foundation gives bursaries. So people can check out the nfvf.co.za website and check for bursaries online. Really, the key is what helps you a lot is doing the 2 3 years of college that you need to do because it just gives you that advantage. You don't learn anything at college, unfortunately, for your parents' bank account or for your student loan because the practical experience comes in the industry. But what those 2 3 years does is that it gives you a way of thinking about writing. It opens your mind up to styles. You find out what you're good at. You may think you are going to be this gritty, like hardcore film writer that's gonna write these like scope skit films and people are gonna die and it's gonna be poetic and they're gonna smoke cigarettes and they're gonna be quiet. That's every student film. Calm down. Um, it's you need to open yourself up. You might think you're really funny, and then you write a joke down and it bombs because maybe you're funny to your friends and you're not funny on paper. So the college, the courses, the short courses that you can find online, do it. Do every creative writing course that you can afford. Do learn everything you can learn. And then when you get into the industry, take that production assistant job. Keep writing. Show people your writing. Ask for help with your writing. You, I mean, people have sent me stuff unsolicited. I'm not a producer, but I can read something and see like, okay, there are problems here. Well, this is a really good idea. All you need to do is get in touch with somebody who can produce it for you. Um, but you need to make contacts, you need to read a lot, and you need to continue crafting your art. So at the moment in the writer's room that I sit in, there's a, I want to say kid, but that's probably ageist of me. There's a young guy who's out of college. He didn't even study writing. He's a rugby player, and but he has a good, like a keen interest in the production that we are working on. So he's a bit of a fan, but also he'd written a poetry anthology before that as a rugby player. How bizarre! But that
Wow.
combination of things, it just makes you an interesting person. And he
Wow.
sent through like, hey guys, I want a job. I like the production. I kind of write, but I'm interested in doing this. He's not a storyliner yet, but he's getting there. So he does like half an episode a week for us, just because he's still learning and he wants to get into it. But it's the kind of spirit and attitude that he has towards it. He's like, I'll make sure that everybody's things are printed and that I send the emails I need to send to the person that needs to get there. As long as I'm in the room, as long as I can get in there. It's your attitude. Don't think you're gonna come and write a feature film straight out of matric. You might be able to. I'm not gonna like say nobody can do that. But you're gonna need to put in the hours. You're gonna need to build up your own credentials. You're gonna need to buy that coffee, man. Just sell yourself. It's really, but it's possible now. It really is possible. With the amount of courses out there, the free ones, the not free ones, the bursaries available. I think film and TV, the industry is open to people more now than it has been before. There's the Big Fish School of Filmmaking, which is, I don't even think you have to pay for it. You just have to like work really hard to get into it. And there are great courses there that you can do in directing and anything that you want. You just have to do your research. Don't just, if you see someone asking for a job, no, I'm not going to give you a job just because you asked for one. You deserve it. You know, you have to work for it. You have to prove yourself. You need to come with something, bring something to the table that somebody can say, oh, okay. I see you wrote that really bad poem, but you have the right attitude. So go get me coffee.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
Um,
I had
yeah,
a boss
so
like that.
basically, oh, hectic, wow.
Every day. From
Hopefully, no one has to go through that.
from the first day I started working there, I was like, I'm gonna get fired today. I'm gonna get fired today.
Oh, but
3, 4 years later, I'm like, I'm have had enough of this now. I'm firing myself.
hectic.
Yeah, it was good though.
No, cool, man. So, yeah, definitely. So, the gist of it is put in the work, and you should be reaping the rewards
Yes.
if you are putting in the work.
Mm.
So just with regards to you were saying those schools and that you can get into for free and the bursaries and things like that.
Mm.
I'll link them down below in the description,
Yeah.
so people can check that out. If anyone wants to catch up with
Yes.
you, to see what the gift bucket is doing, where can they do that?
The gift bucket is online at thegiftbucket.co.za. There's an option to chat from the website. You can also go to the Facebook page, The Gift Bucket. If you search for The Gift Bucket Cape Town, you'll find us there. We're on Instagram, so you can chat to us via Instagram, and in all those pages, on all the website, on the website as well, there's ways to communicate and get hold of me. You can email me at candice@thegiftbucket.co.za. I'm available to chat in business hours, and whatever anybody's looking for, the stuff that's online is there to buy. If you want something that's not online that you can't see, if you want a custom gift, email me. We chat, we come up with something really cool and fun. Those are the best ones anyway to come up with something. Because then I also like, oh, I can do this now and then sell it to other people. So yeah, email, go online and find us there, and we can make memories.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Candice, for your time. Thank you for all the information. I know and I hope people are going to find what you said really helpful in starting their online stores. For those guys who are going to go into film and in this and TV rather, they will definitely need to put in the work and listen to this chat on repeat.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your time,
Thank
Candy.
you very much, Lawrence. I appreciated it. All the best for you.